What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us 865-658-5824. Join alongside Tim live in Green Bay. We will have Emilio joining us shortly as he's finishing up an aerating job out there making that money. So, Tim, how you doing this evening, man? We're getting chilly down here. We're dipping down in the 40s at night. I'm loving it. Loving life.
Yeah, fall is definitely in the air, right? It's kind of similar up here in Titletown, man. You know, it's nice during the day, a little chipper at night. You know, we're getting there.
Heck yeah, I bet it is, man. I bet it's getting chilly at night. So here's what we're going to do today, gang. We've got some Patreon questions we're going to hit on, but first things first, we're going to try to dive into some chalk talk. All right, so we're going to cover the top plays, the most important plays from the Packers-Rams game, as the Packers get a huge win there out in L.A., 24-19. I'm still amazed at how many people just think, oh, it don't really mean that. Are crazy, man. These are the type of wins that create momentum. And when you can come out in a game, when you can throw a pick six and still win the ball game, it says a lot about your team. It really does. And, you know, Tim, I heard all week too, the Rams are banged up. They're without their two best receivers and some of their offensive linemen. And I'm going, wasn't we without our highest paid defensive back, and we were also without our first round pick defensive lineman in Devontae Wyatt, and we were out without Luke Musgrave, knowing we were going to try to run a lot of 12 personnel against the Rams. We were without a bunch of people too.
Weren't we without two of our top receivers, Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs?
That stuff just gets swept under the rug. Well, the Rams are banged up. Okay, gotcha. So anyway, not to harp on that too much, but it cracked me up as we went through the week how some people were kind of treating the win like it was just it wasn't a good win. I thought it was great, man. One of the most enjoyable games I've watched. Again, just absolutely grinded it out there at the end. I stood, Tim, staring at the TV that whole last drive.
Yeah,
I was having to bend over and chart and stand back up. I could not sit down. It was awesome, man. And
welcome to my world. That's me from opening kickoff until the final seconds tick off the clock.
pacing back and forth.
Back and forth.
I thought it was cool, man. Prince in the chat says, agreed. Getting 2 road wins versus teams that really needed to win in the Titans and Rams is huge going forward. Completely agree, man. Completely agree. What's this say? Packers Kingdom Clay, we are 7th in pressure with 94. Is he talking about pressure on the quarterback? Is that right? 7th in pressure.
According to...
Yeah, clarify that for us there, Packers Kingdom. Let us know what you mean by that, Bob. Good to see you in here, man. Appreciate you swinging through. Let's see what else we got. John Schultz. We should run big nickel more. I think they should use Cooper like the Cowgirls use Parsons. Guys we got this year are good tackling. Coach Lim was joking, but what about trying Home Depot at linebacker? I would rather see Quay be used more like Micah Parsons than Edgerrin Cooper, because Edgerrin Cooper being able to scrape and also having that athletic ability to what I've noticed on tape is Edgerrin Cooper way more aggressive against the run. That's the big thing that stood out to me compared to Quay. Now, there was one play where Quay gets into the backfield. It was actually the forced fumble by Enigbare that Xavier McKinney recovered. If you watch it close, Quay attacks the A-gap, and he's the one who gets immediate penetration, kind of cuts the play off. And, you know, the running back, obviously, I think it was Kyron Williams at that time, trying to gain a few yards. Enigbare punches the ball out, and obviously McKinney picks it up and tries to return it there. So, I don't know, man. It's a lot of fun, man. There was a lot to enjoy with that game. But as far as big nickel, John, if you're saying we're going to run big nickel, what it means is when Jair is healthy, it means we'd have to take Keyshawn Nixon off the field. So what you got to ask yourself is, do you like Bullard in the slot better than Keyshawn? Me personally, based off what I've seen, I don't.
Yep.
Bullard is great against the run, but Keyshawn has kind of held his own. I'm going to show you a play, the McKinney interception. It's one of the 14 plays that makes Chalk Talk tonight. One of the reasons that he picks that ball off is our boy Keyshawn Nixon plays perfect technique, and we'll talk about it. It was just he knew exactly where he was supposed to be. He knew how to wall off the receiver and funnel him in to the center of the field. And the guy was trying to run kind of a corner route, if I remember correctly, out of the number 2 spot. Keyshawn played that absolutely perfect. You guys remember the strip sack last week? I know we didn't beat the Vikings, but one of those guys that was creating pressure when the front four couldn't do it, you know?
Yep. And we got to remember that every game has its own plan, right? You know, we may run big nickel more often against certain opponents than we do other opponents, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So as a general approach, you know, I agree with you, Clayton. I think I don't think we've seen enough of Bullard in the slot, you know, to even really make that judgment yet. If
Right.
we see more of what we saw on Sunday, maybe we'll have a better sample size. I'll tell you, I'm a bigger fan of Keyshawn being in the slot than I am of him on the boundary at this point, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Packers Kingdom said we pressured the quarterback 94 times. Nick McSwain came back and says, I see only 41 pressures. I don't know. You guys work that out. some of those analytics and stuff, you know, different stats, I think they're all important, but depends on which site you go to. And then again, I always say who's evaluating the evaluator, right? Who's evaluating the person scoring it. So it doesn't mean it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean it isn't important. It's just when I have no recollection of how talented someone is charting stuff, I take it for what it is. It's just another stat that I can't put a whole bunch of stock into. But when you take all those statistics and throw them into a barrel, that's where it means a lot more to me, you know. And that's why we try to cover, like, when I do evaluations of positions, especially as we get later in the year and really in the off season when we're trying to determine, all right, where do we need to upgrade the team? I try to find the 4 most important statistics I can find for each position and then combine those as an overall grade is kind of how I approach that. And it really just depends on, you know, what your preference is, right? For sure. So,
absolutely.
All right. With that being said, I know Emilio will be joining us here shortly. Tim, you ready to get this thing rolling, man, for some chalk talk?
You know it, baby. Let's review the Tupac LaFleur California Love game.
Absolutely, man. This was a lot of fun, dude. I had a blast breaking this one down. So here's what we come up with. Okay. First of all, this is week 5, Green Bay at LA. The players out: Christian Watson, Jair Alexander, Devontae Wyatt, Jordan Morgan also out, your first round pick this year. So he was out as well. Several other players too. I think Luke Musgrave was out too. But as far as the middle 8 and what we mean by middle 8 gang, it's the last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second half. You treat that like it's a different game. Okay. The Packers won the middle 8, 10-6. The turnover differential went to Green Bay in a +1. So they won that 2-1. They had 2 takeaways, and the Rams only have 1. And then explosive plays. What I have charted is Green Bay 7 and the LA Rams only 3. And what an explosive play is a run 10 yards or more and a pass 20 yards or more. Okay, so obviously 7 explosives, and I think Green Bay is now second in the league in explosive rate as far as on a per play basis. So with that being said, let's jump right into it, Tim. This game started off a little slow at first. Green Bay got the ball first. They punted, right? LA got the ball. They punted. And then, of course, Green Bay gets the ball back, and that's where we're going to pick up here. This is in the first quarter, 8:26 left in the first quarter, 2nd and 2 from their own 34. This is an explosive play. Josh Jacobs, 11-yard run. I feel like this kind of set the tone early. And here's the play call. It's 12, ace nasty, Y cheat sift, 23, or halfback in the B gap left. All right. And power G, or you could call it pin and pull. Some will call it power G. Some will call it pin and pull. Let's talk about what 23 means. You know, some people, when you're running a gap scheme, this is more prevalent when people call out the number system. And I'm going to start incorporating this a little bit. Even if we're running zone, I'm going to kind of give you guys a little bit better idea or description of where the ball is being ran to. You know, normally I'd say inside zone right. Okay. I'm going to start kind of calling out the numbers and what I think is the gap that the zone was geared around. And who knows, it could have been an actual gap call too, but we're not going to waste too much time breaking all that down. So essentially, when you got a numerical system like 23, the first number is the player getting the football. Okay. If it's the quarterback keep, it would be a number 1 would be the first number. If the halfback's getting the ball, it'd be a number 2. If the fullback's getting the ball, it'd be a number 3. And if you got a split back, dual halfback, it would be the right halfback will be your number 4. Okay. And then the second number, so in this case, it's going to the halfback. So it would be 23, it'd be 2. Okay. Now the second number is the gap in which you're running. And the way that works is on the right side, the gaps are even numbers. On the left side, they're odd. Okay. So this is a left side run, and this is going to the halfback. So it's 2, 3, which would mean B gap left. Okay. So that's what we mean by 23. Okay. So again, 12 Ace Nasty, Y Cheat Sift, 23 Power G, or you could call it zone left pin and pull. All right. Now let's talk about what all that means real quick. The 12 Ace, as we talked about before, obviously, 12 is one running back, two tight ends. There's your running back. Here are your two tight ends. Okay. When we talk about Y Cheat Sift, what we're going to do is bring the Y in Tucker Kraft. He is going to cheat motion over right before the snap and sift block over. And he's going to help seal this end here. Okay. What you're also going to have with the 23, it's real simple. We'll highlight the running back in blue. He's aiming B gap, but you're going to notice he ends up cutting to the A gap. Just know he was kind of his target point was the B gap, it appears. All right. Now, the 23, like we said, that just described it. Power G or pin and pull. What's going to happen is the guard and Sean Ryan is going to pull, block as well, and try to seal the edge. And you're going to notice everyone, when we say pin and pull, these guys are trying to pin down. All right. They're blocking in a certain direction to try to pin everybody in one direction, and then you're pulling off that in the opposite direction. What I want you to key in on, though, is watch Josh Jacobs hit that B. And as soon as he approaches the B, he's going to get into that A and get upfield. All right, so let's roll the tape. We're going to do 75% for the most part. If we need to slow it down, we will. First of all, they can. I was cracking up at Jordan Love. Look, Jordan tells Tucker right here, motion over. Hey, Tuck, please, for the love of God, would you get over here? Finally, he breaks over, and now you're going to see the sift. You see the guard pull. Watch Jacobs. Nothing there. Quick cut, upfield. Great run, 11 yards. Now, check out the box cam, and I want you guys to key in on my boy. I was bragging on him earlier in the week. I think he's a solid tight end to be so low on the depth chart. First of all, they showed with a bunch nasty kind of look, and then they motioned him over. Here's who I want you to key in on after the ball snapped. Watch our boy Ben Sims right here. This is something Luke Musgrave, at least at this point in his career, he cannot do. Here's Jordan getting pissed off at Tucker again. Ball snapped. Here comes the sift. So watch what Ben Sims does here. See how everybody's blocking down what we're talking about, Tim? Everybody's kind of blocking, and then you got the guard pulling. Ben Sims is going to help double this lineman here and then get to the backer. Just focus on Ben Sims right here. Just watch him. Double. Look at him finish this block. Bang.
Bang.
Look at my man get up. He is fired up. Look at him. He's flexing. He's ready to go, man. Absolutely love to see Ben Sims out there. I'm really excited that we got that kind of depth in the tight end room. I personally, I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I think Ben Sims is a better tight end than Luke Musgrave right now. That's just me personally, based off what we've seen last year and his ability to run block, even pass block too, if you need an extra protector in there. So,
and certainly what we're seeing so far this season, right?
Yep, definitely. And again, look at Josh Jacobs. So again, think of it here. These guys are trying to pull out here and block here, so Jacobs can kind of hit the B gap right here. Is what I think's going on. He sees it's not there and cuts back up real quick. Look at this, just quick little bang,
boom.
Oh, look at
a little skip step or a hop step, whatever they call that. He crashed a couple of Rams defenders into each other there.
That's what you're looking for right there. Looking like a train wreck in the backfield, right?
Yep. Now, and look how many Green Bay Packers are on their feet and how many Rams are on the ground.
And look, Sheed's like, what's going on down here, fellas? How we doing? So again, Ben Sims, though, nice finish. I want to point this out too. Bo Melton. Bo Melton does an excellent job. So you can't see Bo. He's off screen. As soon as the ball snapped, Bo's going to act like he's running a slant. He's going to get in here and wall off the inside. Watch Bo dig this out right here. This is really, really impressive. You see him jump into the picture right here, and look at him. Bang.
Yep.
That's beautiful, man. If he doesn't do that, Josh Jacobs probably gets dropped right there.
Yep.
So that's what allowed you your first explosive of the day, an 11-yard run by Josh Jacobs. All right, so this might be the most exciting play of the game, Tim. This was a lot of fun. This was as Brett Favrean as you're going to get on a football field, man. I'm just telling you. So here's the call.
Favrean. I like that. That's a new quote.
Drop it. Put it as a drop, right? So this comes in the first quarter, 7:41 left. It's a 2nd and 10 play from your own 45, and this is the Jaden Reed 53-yard pass. All right, here is the call. We've got 11 ace dub nasty, 24 fake protect, scroll flat, which is basically a skinny curl flat, slot cross. Again, 11 ace dub nasty, 24 fake protect, scroll flat, slot cross. And here is what all that means. Of course, you guys know what 11 ace is. It's a 3 wide receiver set, 1 running back, 1 tight end. Ace meaning single back. It's 1 syllable as opposed to saying single back. You can just say ace, okay? Easier to communicate. And your strong left here on this specific play. Now, when we talk about 24 fake protect, again, I'm going to start using the numbers. The 2 is the halfback. 4 is the gap. All right, 4 is even. So it's going to be on the right side. The A gap on the right would be the 2 gap, right? And then you would have the 4 gap in the B. So they're going to fake to the B gap. The play fake is going to go B gap here. All right. And fake protect, real simple. He's going to hit the B gap and he's going to become a blocker. All right. So he's trying to sell the fact that he's got the football and he's going to throw a block. That makes sense. So now let's go ahead and highlight the routes here. With the scroll flat, really, really simple. He's going to look like he's running a skinny out here, okay, up top, and he's just going to sit down in a curl. All right, that's going to be his route. The Y is just going to run a flat. That's what we would call scroll flat, okay? Again, play fake to the running back. He's going to step up in here and try to block, and I say try for a reason. You'll see what I mean here in just a second. And then slot cross, we talk about it all the time. Slot cross is real simple. You got to climb out of the slot, and then you got to – he gets widened out a little bit, but he's trying to run a dig underneath with that slot cross concept. Probably the most used concept that Matt LaFleur's got. And again, Tim, this is the deep bomb. Watch Jordan get rid of this ball, feeling the pressure. There's the fake. You see him try to pick up the block. Gets beat. Going to launch that thing deep. Listen, I'm not saying I'm happy with that throw. I'm not happy with the decision. But, man, you can't throw it any better, Tim. He dropped this one right down the chimney. Look at this.
Coach LaFleur talked about it. I don't know if you caught his reaction to that play. He said it was one of those no, yes type of plays, and a great ball by Jordan and a hell of a catch by Jayden Reed. I mean, it is a good throw. A lot of arm underneath this one, and the ball placement was. I mean, if you're going to throw into triple coverage, that's where you want to put the ball, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And here's the thing, too. Like, look, Jordan had pressure coming, so he kind of feels that pressure. Emmanuel Wilson did whiff on that 24 fake or 24 fake protect. You'll see he gets up in here, and the guy just kind of uses the other bodies as a shield, so there's not much Emmanuel could do. Now, of course, Jordan here going to let this thing go. And a lot of people saw this. And listen, I understand what you're saying. Bo Melton's wide open, right? That's an easy conversion, 2nd and 10. This is what I mean by Farvian. The dude could have taken the 15 to 20 yard completion, but instead he said, "Nah, man, let's go for the big shot here." Right?
Yeah. So, that's why we like him, man. You know, you want a quarterback like that, right? Push the ball down the field.
Hum that tater.
Hum that tater, like Emilio says. Put it on the ticker.
Emilio, we're just showing this. You jumped in on the second play, man. This is the 53-yard bomb to Jayden Reed. 11 ace dub nasty, 24 fake protect, scroll flat, slot cross. We were talking about how they were trying to run a play fake to the B gap here and just let him set up a little extra pass block, a little protection. Emmanuel Wilson kind of whiffs on the block. Jordan feels the pressure, fades to his left at the last second, lets this thing go.
At least it wasn't a business decision loss. You know, he was still going out there to make the block. He just kind of got kind of out of place. Guy used a good pick, but
absolutely.
Look at that.
Look at the placement of that ball, bro. You can't throw it any better. I wish I could keep this from skipping, but let's just go a little bit slower. Let's go 50% and enjoy where this ball actually lands. Look at that, dude. And Jayden Reed's got a guy climbing on his face mask.
He's got a guy going like this to his visor. He's literally got his hand across his visor.
Yeah,
just hit his fingertips and he pulled it in.
We talked about this, Clayton, that we offline the other day, you and I were talking, and, you know, for a guy his size, Jayden Reed plays big boy football. He plays like Megatron, you know, but in a smaller package, and certainly with the wheels too. So this is incredible, man.
Just look at this guy right here. He thinks so too. Look at him leaning in going,
he said, damn.
How did he catch this? You kidding me? Look at the Ram too. Let's see the Ram's reaction. I haven't even focused on him. Does he react?
Frozen.
He literally
frozen. I can't believe he came up with that ball.
That's got you.
Absolutely love it, man. All right, so next play we got first quarter. It's actually might be the very next play. Yeah, probably was 1st and goal. So here we are, first quarter, 6:52 left, 1st and goal from the Rams 2-yard line. This is the Josh Jacobs touchdown run. Here's what we got. 11 gun, bunch nasty X, Y shift to dubs, 23 zone left. All
Ready, break.
So here is the play when we're talking about the Y shift to dubs. You come out in a bunch nasty X set. Tucker is actually going to motion over into dubs here. Now, Tucker ends up on his keister. You know, he got a bad grade Sunday, and people were rolling their eyes, go, how do you get a bad grade? It's all about consistency with the way PFF grades. And listen, Tucker had a good game, I feel like. I mean, he probably the most impactful player for the Packers in the entire game. But there was some stuff he needs to clean up, no doubt about it. But he's going to motion over. And once he does, now you're in dubs. What dubs simply means is a 2x2 set. 2 on this side, 2 on that side. He's kind of in the wing, really. So you could say Y shift to wing left if you don't want to truly call it dubs. But this is an interesting run. Emilio, we talk about this all the time, man. The reason pistol is so valuable is because when you're in a sidecar left or right, you're limited to pretty much running to one side unless you run a misdirection.
Right.
This play is interesting because Jacobs gets it, and it's designed to go here.
Yeah,
it's a 23 zone left, right? So it's designed to go into the B gap left.
Almost like a power, or a lead ISO sort of thing with Tucker stepping up. But I like that Matt added that because that way you're not, one-sided or you're not predictable. You got to be able to switch it up, and calling that in the red zone on the 2, you got to have faith in that play because that can get blown up instantly. But going back to it, Josh Jacobs' run, I was listening, I was getting in his run earlier in the game. Who'd we go behind? Elton Jenkins. Who do we go behind here? Elton Jenkins. Who do we trust to run the ball behind when we need a yard? So I like that.
Yep. And Jacobs is like, all right, let me just get up in here and press. And at this point, he's like, you know what? There's probably some real estate out here. Let's just bounce this thing out. What a great run, man. Absolutely.
Good job by Zach Tom there, not holding. You could see at the end, he just just in time.
Huge. And this is a really good shot here. And what Emilio's talking about, too, is like we show all the time when you're sidecar left, we're inside zone or outside zone right constantly. So if you've got all that on tape and they're looking for it, and we talked about it in Bobby Peters' book, the bread and butter in the running game for Matt LaFleur's offense is weak zone. Right. So once Tucker Kraft shifts over, guess what? This would be a weak zone if you ran to that side. Now look at the hat count, right? So you like your hat count, but key in on Tucker. The reason this really does get blown up, watch Tucker kind of whiffs, right? Yeah. So now Jacobs is left out on his own, but he does have a little bit of help.
Rashid blocking 3 dudes right there. You see Rashid?
Yeah.
And look at Dontavion Wicks and look at Bo Melton. But you missed a play earlier, Emilio, where Bo Melton slid in and made a great run block. But look at this. Tay Wick's going to pick this up. All right, look at Bo out there fighting. We're good. All right. Great job.
Seeing Zach Tom with the quick little put his hands back. I love it.
And it's so easy for the wide receivers not to even want to block on that. If it's going left or just step in front of your guy sort of thing, they actually engage. We're driving, try to turn them, all that.
Take a play off, right? Hey, I'll take a play off here.
That's why I appreciate you can tell our staff has stressed that with our receiving core. I mean, we got some dogs that are absolutely great as run blockers for sure. Malik Heath is another one, man. That guy will block you to the cooler for sure.
Yeah. Coach Lynn makes a great point. Better if we run this from under center. Amen, Coach. And I do think that, like Emilio pointed out, they were probably showing so much sidecar zone right or sidecar zone weak that they thought, hey, we could probably take advantage of this, that if they've watched tape, they'll bite in that direction.
Obviously, also the fact of everyone running shotgun on the 2, what happened to the old school under center looks.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so obviously the Packers go up there. Now the very next drive, the Rams went on a long touchdown drive. There was no explosives, but they did score on that drive. So now it's 7-7 as we approach here. Rams ball, first down, we got to run stuff. That was actually Quay Walker and Evan Williams for a 6-yard loss. Why do I mention that? Because without that run stuff and that 6-yard loss, you don't get to this play where they're behind schedule, 3rd and 16. This is what we want Chalk Talk to be every week, guys. What happened? Why did it happen? What's the most important aspects that set up the results of the game, essentially? And I'm telling you, that's one of the key plays that we didn't have time to put in, but I definitely wanted to mention it. Quay Walker, Evan Williams, 6-yard loss on a run stuff, okay? So here we are now, 3rd and 16 because of that run stuff, 3rd and 16 at Green Bay's 35-yard line. So they're behind schedule. They're still in field goal range, right? We come out in a nickel 4-2-5 shell, will mug, cover 1, ET, crash left, will scrape. This is obviously the Edgerrin Cooper, Edgerrin Cooper sack. This is a lot of guy. So nickel 2-4-5, what does that mean? You've got 2 linebackers, okay, in the red. In the blue, you've got 4 defensive linemen, all right? And then let's go white for the DBs is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is, okay? Now, what does shell mean? When we say shell, 2 high safeties, okay? Now, we're going to end up going cover 1, but we're also doing will mug. The will backer is Edgerrin Cooper. He's mugging the center. He's kind of mugging the nose here, playing shade from a stand-up position. Now, why is he the will? He is the will because there is a tight end on the field. The linebacker on the tight end side is the Mike. The weak side, only by a half a yard, is actually our boy Edgerrin Cooper on this specific play. We talk about how interchangeable it is. You're going to see that right here with this cover 1 because you're going to notice Quay's actually going to follow across, all right? So as he comes across, I believe they use motion if I remember correctly. Let's watch the tight end. He's looking for the signal right now, I think. Yep, so here comes the motion, right? All right, so now technically Edgerrin Cooper is the Mike and Quay's the will. But we're not even going to call it out because you notice he didn't even adjust to that, right? His job is to blitz here, right? So that's what you got there. Now you got a 5-man front, kind of makeshift with the will mugging. ET on one side. You talk about Rashawn Gary all the time, and watch what he does here. He's going to engage with the tackle and take it into the guard. So he's playing the selfless act right here. He's occupying a double team, so Preston can come off the edge free here, all right? Now, on the other side, when we talk about a crash left, will scrape, all right, on the left side, they're going to crash in, and the will is going to scrape off of that for a blitz, all right? That's what that's designed to do. Now, Quay is actually in man coverage now, okay? You'll notice that when the tight end shifted over, we're coming out of the shell now. You see Evan Williams here? Evan Williams is now in man coverage on the Y, which means Quay is man coverage on the T, which means everyone else is man coverage where they're lined up unless they switch, of course. And, of course, Xavier McKinney's got deep center. So that's cover 1, ET, crash left, will scrape. Watch Edgerrin Cooper use that talent, man. Look how quick he is. Stafford never had a shot, bro.
No, not at all. And he didn't.
Well, he almost wiggled away from him, but look at the strength to keep one hand on him and bring him to the ground. That's impressive.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say he didn't even scrape right away either. You know, you got to make that center want to engage you, even when you're mugging. Look how he held him for a good second right there. All right, now I'm breaking. Yep.
That's a good point. So everybody's in man. Now look at everybody crashing. And this is all hell's breaking loose right here. Look at this, boys. Mm-hmm. And again, look at Gary got his nose in the guard and the tackle. That's going to free up for our boy Preston Smith to come around the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Stafford feels all this, right? He sees everything crashes. He's now lost sight of Coop, right? You got the safety buzzed down, so he's going to take any hot he may or may not have right here. And then by the time he recognizes I got to get out, oh, no, I can't get out. It's over.
Now you can't leave.
So, again, that came on a 3rd and 16 play, right? And the reason it was so important, they end up losing more yardage. It knocks them out of field goal range. But the play before, that run stuff with Quay Walker and Evan Williams is what put them behind schedule. If they're in a 3rd and 10 spot right there, they may go a little more conservative and just play for the field goal. But at 3rd and 16, you got to try to pick up those yards. You push them on out of field goal range. So that's how that shook out there. Anything up to this point that stick out to y'all? We want to pause for a second. Are we good to go?
I think we're good to go. You got anything, Emilio?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Can we get the bad part out of the way here? Can we go ahead and do this? This is the pick 6. All right. It shouldn't even be considered a pick 6. It was like a pick 2.5 yards, right? It's not like he had to work for it or anything. We basically gave him a gift.
Yeah.
But there's some stuff that happened on this play that I think a lot of people aren't really talking about. This is second quarter, 2:02. This is the middle 8. This could have been devastating, right? 3rd and 12 play from your own 8. Again, this is the pick 6. So the play call was 11 gun, Trey Wright, T-weak, X-Pro, slot climb, Z-pivot, max protect. The part that bothers me is this right here, boys. We're in max protect, and we've got a free runner. Something went wrong. right? And I haven't seen a whole lot of people talk about this, but we're going to hit on it here. First of all, you see pre-snap, they shift Josh Jacobs over, okay, to where he's weak. So now if you truly are in max protect, which we know that's a play call, he's going to step up and block. So you got a hat, a hat, a hat, a hat, a hat, a hat, and a hat. All right, so how many you got there? Let's count them off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in protection, max protect, right? That's what you're showing here. So with 7 in protection, how many blitzers do they potentially have here, right? Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the most. You see what I'm saying, Emilio?
Yep.
You got +1. So what happens? Here's what I think happened personally. I think Sheed missed his assignment, and I think Jacobs missed his assignment. So I think Jacobs was supposed to block this free runner. Sheed was supposed to block this guy, right? And on, and these guys were just going to fan to the right. But watch what happens here. As they bring the blitz, watch 0, he fires, Sheed kicks in. So now Jacobs is left with 2 guys to block.
And you always got to take inside man because he's most dangerous.
Always. I wanted to get angry at Josh Jacobs on his play, but I can't blame him. He's got 2 people to block, and you hit the nail on the head. You always take the guy closest to the QB. You have to make a decision. So, again, Jordan sees it, feels it. He goes ahead and sprints right. Here's the part that sucks. If they pick that up, and this is what we mean by Sheed. Look at Sheed right here. He's facing the quarterback.
I was listening to Kirk Benker broke it down real quick, and he was thinking that they were fanning right to give Jordan the sprint out right. We're trying to wall off the left side and almost kick back, kind of make the Nike sign over there and sort of swoosh that back. But he was wondering the same thing you said. Why did Rashid step down there? Unless he misheard the call, or maybe he thought everyone was stepping right. But if they walled that off, and I know you're going to get to it, they wall that off, Jordan's got to look, and that's why he was setting up.
It makes sense. And so as you look at it from multiple angles, I was looking at a little bit different angle than Kurt Benkert was. One thing that keeps popping up is Rasheed Walker. So it's probably him, right? That was probably the issue. Now, let's talk about what the passing concept was here. So we had X Pro. This is your X, all right? He's on the line of scrimmage opposite your tight end. That makes him the X. A pro route, some people just call it a corner route, a circle corner. I've heard it called a number of different things. But a pro route is basically you're kind of angling and then back out on the corner, okay? So it's almost like you're running a skinny post, and then you're turning it into a corner route.
It's those C routes on Madden, where the double.
Is that what they call it? C?
No, I'm just saying, like you're looking at the play. You got the reverse C's that get to the sideline, get north and south.
Got it. And that's what's so odd to me about the reason I didn't think it was a sprint right, and I would trust Kurt Benkert's opinion over mine. Anybody hearing my voice, man, made it to the NFL. He knows forgotten way more about football than I'll ever know. So if he thinks the call was sprint right, that's probably what it was. But the problem I have with it is the way the routes were designed here, Emilio.
Yeah.
You got to climb in the opposite direction. You've got that pro route. And then over here, you got to pivot, if I remember correctly. So the Z is going to come out here and kind of pivot back toward the sideline. So maybe he was going sprint right and just trying to hammer the pivot.
So what he was saying was he thinks that Matt was trying to set up a shot play to get him out of this situation, but loading Jordan up to have a throwback out. The plan was the throwback all along. So he needed to get to the other side, pull that safety, see the pivot route. And I think his options were that C or that corner route first, and then the cross second, I think.
So yeah, you see Jordan sets his feet, and you're right. They're looking to throw back across the grain here. The problem is nobody being Jordan Love doesn't see 0 coming free, right?
Right.
Because
that pivot's holding that safety over the numbers on the top of the field there. So that safety's held there. The second safety's kind of held with that the slot cross climb in. And then that corner route, I mean, that is an open shot. And he was at this point, he was set about to throw it.
Yeah. So now you get turned around, hammered, and it's just get rid of the freaking football, right? Now, he said he was trying to throw it out of bounds. There was some radio talk show geniuses today going, he was not. He was trying to throw it to Tucker. I'm like, okay, I'm going to trust the quarterback over you there.
He was trying to throw it to Tucker Kraft for a 7-yard loss. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, makes sense, right?
He needed to throw it near Tucker for it to be an incomplete pass and not intentional grounding, or so it's like And,
Right, 'cause-
and you try, all right, someone go out there and have somebody push you over and you try to throw a football as you're falling. You know what I mean? It's like we ask him to throw all these off angle throws, and the one time he gets shoved and tries to get it, past the line of scrimmage or incomplete, we're mad at him.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, Matt drew this up perfect, boys. Like, seriously, look at the
Yeah, right. If all these hit, if that wall set up on the backside and he had a second to set his feet,
you got plenty of help over there, right?
that's an explosive play. What on third? It was third and 12?
That max protect ends up being elite too, right? Once he gets in trouble. But again, look at it from Jordan's perspective here. Well, all right, sprint right. We're going to throw this thing back. Heck yeah! All right, set it. It's there. Crap!
Can we go back to the beginning here from the same angle?
It was there too.
Take a look at this dog crap worthy snap. Look at that snap.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
Jordan, God love him, man. You talk about blood pressure going up on.
I mean, we're rolling right. We're rolling right, and the ball's being snapped on his left hip. Don't
you dare slander Josh Myers on this.
Man, he did. I mean, it was there though.
Hey, you see, you got to say it, right?
Yeah.
At least it didn't go over his head. Would have been a safety anyway.
Yeah, no doubt. So again, here we go, sprinting right, blind side. And again, it's Jordan knows it's a bad play, but my God, man, you can't. Hindsight's 20/20. Take the safety, right?
Did you see Jordan's hands go to his head?
Right
but if he threw it to the sideline from where he was falling, it still would have ended up in the end zone. You know what I mean? Like he had to get it out of the end zone. Wouldn't it have been a safety anyway if it was intentional grounding in the end zone?
Yep.
It's got to make it to the line of scrimmage. All right. Now he's outside of the tackle box, so it just has to make it to the line of scrimmage. I think that was his goal, was to make it to where were we at? Were we on the 7?
Yeah, something like that.
Let's see.
So his best option was
Yeah, so he was trying to get it out. He thought he was throwing it out of bounds, and if he gets it out of bounds, it don't matter. Don't have to make it to the line of scrimmage. So, to the best of my knowledge,
right?
There was many people saying that that's kind of a judgment call, and the officials probably would have let it go because he's so far outside of the tackle box. But
I think hindsight's 20/20. I think Jordan probably looking at this now would have just took the safety, give up the 2 points.
Hey, but at least we didn't give up 9. We never know what could have happened. They could have,
and they did shank the extra point, right? They did shank the extra point on this.
No, Wooden have the block,
or did it get blocked, or was it a miss? I don't know.
Kobe Wooden, I thought he blocked that.
Oh, he did block it. Okay, good.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought he just missed it. But I'll be honest with you, I had to go get me a drink after that big 6. I came back and went, oh, they must have missed the extra point.
I could have swore I heard Mike or West talking about that on their pod. So, or that he had blocked it. Got out there 30 plays and got a block. I love it, man. Some pressure.
Nice.
So obviously you go down 13-7 there. The Packers went down before halftime, got a field goal, if I remember correctly. So that made it 13-10 at the half. All right. So the middle 8 in that specific situation, I think you were down, what was it? 6-3 at that point. Right. So there you go. That's how that shook out. Now let's fast forward. Third quarter, middle 8 still, 11:58 left, 2nd and 6 play at Green Bay's 27-yard line. Okay, so they're marching again, and this is the Enigbare forced fumble. All right, and the McKinney recovery here. Okay, so let's show the look here. Nickel 4-2-5 under, so we're in an under front. There's the tight end side. All right. Now notice he's going to motion over. So right now it would be technically an under. He's going to motion. Where's the ball snap before he gets over. So it is still technically under. What we mean by under is that's the strong side of the formation. On the weak side of the formation, you're playing under the tight end, essentially what it means. 1 tech, 3 tech. That makes it an under front. Okay. Nickel 4-2-5 under. And we got, basically a 1 tech on the strong side, a 3 tech on the weak side. Now, what I want you to key in on, I believe this is the play where Quay comes in, if I remember correctly. Let me make sure here. Yeah, watch Quay. This has been Quay's weakness this year, okay? And listen, you guys know I've been critical of Quay. But watch him shoot the gap here. He makes this play kind of go. Watch him. Disruptive, right? 23 had to chop his steps, cut it back. Now he's got LVN's big paws on him. And watch Enigbare punch that thing out. McKinney is just, the ball always ends up where McKinney, like he's celebrating.
He was literally selling too. He was like,
McKinney's like, yeah, look, ball's out.
We got it.
Crap. Let me just take that real quick. I got you. Oh, man.
Look at him shake a big man. Oh.
Yeah, dude. No doubt. the box cam is really nice on this. This was a huge play, man. Enigbare, limited snaps, doing some really cool stuff this year, no doubt. All right, so again, nickel 4-2-5. We're in an under. You see the under real nice right there, right? The 1 tech, some might call it a 2. I'm calling it a 1 and the 3, okay? And that's on the weak side of the formation. They're going with the sift, so they're going split flow. Look at Quay. Get in there, big dog. Battle through that. Oh, that ain't a hold. That ain't a hold, is it? So anyway, made him change trajectory. LVN grabbing a hold of him, punched out. That's a beautiful view right there. There's a better on the TV copy, but look at him punch that thing out. Ball's on the ground. Great job by McKinney, man. What a signing. Xavier McKinney, arguably the best safety in the league right now.